You have to stream to Discord first.
Hello and welcome to another night with the ARML. I am like 90% sure we're unmuted. It should be a good one tonight. Some action in B3. I am on Wii and I am co-commentating tonight with Korak. How you doing, Korak?
Pretty good. A little late cast for Saturday evening. Should be a bunch of action. We haven't spent much time in B3A, which is what this game is from. I think two people we haven't had live this season yet, including Kayla, who you should know pretty well.
Yeah, I do. I am intimately familiar with Kayla's play style and as a human.
Yes, well, as you see here, the situation is Kayla and Eric are both fighting to position themselves to climb up. As we continuously say, there may be more spots than we see right here, but the game's about to start. And
Home.
uh-oh, I see a slight disconnect by Cesar on the right. But regardless, looks like game is off. Eric is first dealer here. Decent shapes, look like a pinfoot. Okay, there goes Cesar. Is back. Also has that Haku pair, can only call and go. Rest shapes aren't great, so I think that's what you do. Across the way, Shaw is the Yaku High, so that is called. You'd love to move this to Honitsu. You can accept Dora, but I think you're just taking what you can get. And on the left, we have the Pay pair. You'd really like to turn that into Honitsu, but I don't think you're going to have time for it.
The so shape is going to be kind of hard to fill in. Although with the 5-mon pair now, you're probably not even thinking Honitsu anymore.
Yeah, you're wondering, can I turn this into Itsu or just take the Ricci? Potentially Ricci Dora Pay would be ideal.
We have perfect Ishanten across the way for Kayla, pulling the Dora 2 pin into hand. And
Yeah,
the
we'll just
dealer
do
also getting
2,000.
close.
Yeah, dealer getting a little close, but not as close as it may seem. The six pin's good to via. Well, that's one way to get around that
Home.
choke point. There goes the hockey. That's going to get called. But dealer's hand is okay. It's just nothing compared to what we see across. Ooh, an interesting choice there. Keeps the two Dora. Will end up potentially Shampon here. 2 pin, 6 pin, but still Ishanten.
Eric decides to take the Ryanman Ishanten here instead
There's our
of discarding
Tempai
the
across the
2-mon.
way.
Ooh, waiting on Dora.
2 pin, 6 pin. So going for a little extra value here. Doesn't want the 2,000 good weight. Is greeting, hoping to draw that last 2 pin. And in fact, there are two of them left. So it's not the last 2 pin, although you would expect it to be in this situation.
Each.
Oh, there we go. There's Tempai for the dealer. Going to be waiting on 6-pin, 9-pin. It'll be Tanyao on the 6-pin, but Richie Nomi on the 9-pin.
This is the problem: is if you took that good weight, that forward had dealt in, you wouldn't be out fighting against this
Sumo.
dealer reaching.
Oh,
But just Sumo,
jumps
the
the
expensive
2-pin.
end, turn into an 8,000 and the Rikushik. Kayla's out in a huge lead now as you head to East 2.
I always tell Kayla that she plays like her instincts are what I imagine your instincts were probably like when you started Mahjong. She always goes for more valuable hands if it's an option.
Well, value is definitely one of the easiest ways to play. It's one I'm a huge advocate of and certainly pays off there. And I have Cesar as dealer here, has four pairs and just goes ahead and calls, probably going for a Toy here. You do have that Dora, probably want to pair that up, but especially that 1 pin call is going to be very slow unless you pair up specifically the Dora. Even then, you want to call 2, 3, and 5 so. On the right, ooh, that is already Tempai, will
Wow.
take a Dora Tonki. Richie Tanya Dora 2. I mean, this is Kayla going for the value. I don't blame this decision at all. I like this one a lot.
Especially with it being the 3 so.
Yeah, son. So now, if you would have waited the turn and stayed dumb, I could have turned into reach Pin Futai now, waiting on 5-8 so, but I still don't mind this play at all. Cross the way. I mean, there's a path towards. Uh-oh, there's 3 so, deals the Dora. Richie Tanya Dora 2.
So two Mongons back to back, very quick for Kayla.
Just wait on Dora. I mean, it certainly works out. I guarantee you're going to get at least 2 of them like that and 3 in the first hand. And Kayla's way out in front here. Has a pretty good starting hand here, too, as dealer. Richie Pinfu, maybe a Dora. Now you have that awkward 6-6-7-7 Mon shape, especially with the overlap of the 3-4 in Mon with 2 Mondora. So you're thinking possibly Peiko, but honestly, everything's kind of hard to use. Anytime you need multiple tiles in the same Suji, the 2-5-8 here, and going to need 3 of them to use all of those, it feels really bad. On the right, we have a bunch of pairs. That definitely feels like Chitoy. It's actually
5.
Ishan for Chitoy.
Yeah.
Across the way, I mean, maybe a Chanta. It feels really slow no matter what it is. On the left, you see the 8, so Pone. Probably going Toy there as well. This is something Cesar has been doing. And this will not be Tempai, regardless of what weight is taken. But even if it were Tempai, there isn't a Yaku yet. Kayla cutting the 7 pin here. I think the idea is if you're going to do that, I almost want to call the 6 Mon earlier.
Yeah, it does look like she's making a Tanyao shift.
Yeah, just anytime, I said just a bit ago, anytime you need multiple tiles in the same suit, it's so hard.
Cesar is still waiting to pair up either the 7 Mon, 8 Mon, or 5 pin to make that not Tanyao, Toy come alive.
And I definitely would have gotten rid of the 5 pin there, kept that south. That just gives you a relative safe tile in case something does go wrong later. Well, that's going to just be a Pone. Ooh, so this is an interesting play. Cutting the 5 in here. This does not have a Yaku, except it does have a Yaku.
Come.
And that Yaku is Rinshan, but it's not hit. Goes for
like,
glory, doesn't get it rewarded, though.
I was like, what? What Yaku is Korak talking about? That's how little I believe in cons. This East does not look great. None of the
dealer's getting out of here. Oh, and there's our Chitoy. It's a natural little Suji trap with the Kabe. This 3 pin can come out right away. That 9 does not deal in. There's no Yaku.
That was for Cesar's hand on the left.
Yes, this 3 pin is so nasty. I love this weight. It's Kabe'd off by the 4. It's Suji trapped to yourself. I can easily see this coming out from anyone, honestly. And it would be a Ricci Chitoidora 2. Now we're going to see if it comes. The 6-0 is the safe play. You can get out of this safely.
9 Mon, also a fine discard that allows you to keep perfect Ishan 10. 6 Mon is also safe.
There's the
3 pin.
Takes the wider Ishan 10 and deals in. I said that's a disgusting weight, and that's why Ricci Chitoidora 2 doesn't hit any aura, but the Condora did give 2 in the first place. I think to boost it up to a Mongon.
So Mongon's only.
Who's now fighting back. Ooh, there's an open con. Is that a domain con? Yes, it is. Cesar definitely is going for it. This hand actually has a Chanta, and that's a Dora, so I don't mind that con at all.
Boom. Yeah, and the West is the new Dora, although that is instantly thrown away by Jocelyn here. Jocelyn actually Ishan
cutting
10.
the 2 pin there. Normally you'd be cutting the 5 Mon and taking the perfect Ishan 10. Because I don't really want to be well, end up in the same place. You know, you just smash the button here, Ricci Nomi.
3-0, 6-0 weight.
Oh, and the 6, okay, does dodge the Apatsu, but I think the 6 just has to come out.
Yeah. Shouldn't come out of Eric's hand since it's useful.
Should be the 9-so.
Oh,
wow, look at those draws. Cesar bailed out with the 6-0.
Yeah, is kind of in a rough position though. It's not like any of the tiles Cesar needs to. Well, I guess the 2-so that Cesar would need to discard.
Yeah,
it's
2-so
Suji
feels
now.
fine. And when you have a hand from a 3rd turn, Ricci, Suji's about as good as you get. But meanwhile, we have a Tempai on the right. This is Ricci Nomi waiting on 8-so. We haven't talked about it, but there are 3 8-so left, and the 3-6, there are 5 left. There's the 8!
Wow.
No aura, so not a huge punish, but does get the Ricci stick and 1300.
Saves
That's gonna be-
everybody from Cesar's Mongon.
Yeah, and that's interesting because people have seen Scissor open pretty aggressively and just no respect. Oh, speaking of no respect, what about the Dora discard first turn?
And the pay, no less. Is getting a nice 7, 8, 9 possible Ipeco in the Sozu.
Yeah, you're really hoping for that 9 so, but there's only one left at this point, which is pretty frustrating. The problem is the rest of this hand would be hard to use. On the right, similarly, kind of an ugly hand, a few pairs, but nothing else. Across the way, I don't know how you do it, but I think you want to turn that into Itsu. And that's going to be the play there. Could also turn it into an Ipeco, but you really want Itsu with that. And on the left, we have the south, which is Yakuhai, and that is actually Ishanten. So I think it's just a call and go.
You were talking about turning Kayla's hand into Itsu. If you draw the 5-so, which you obviously need for the Itsu, what do you discard? Because you're Tenpai at that point.
3 so.
You toss a 3-so?
Yeah, you just give it up. You say, if I get an extended shape in pin, I'm fine just taking 4e10. And here it is. We'll see what happens, especially if, say, the 1-so is drawn. Was then to be Richinomi, but 3-sided 4e10. Interesting decision, regardless of how it's played. Meanwhile, dealer is now Ishanten for that Ricci Ipeco, but the 6-9 is so bad right now.
And none of the Souths have
there's
come
your
into...
Tenpai. You just smashed the button here. Don't think
Yeet.
too hard about this one, and there it goes. So the 6 is actually 1 left, and the 9 so is none left.
In the wall.
In the wall. We could
Yeah.
see it come out from a hand, but
Lichi.
Oh,
I
but
don't
Cesar
think
can
so
use
now. No, there's no way. Those 6 are super locked in now. Interestingly,
Lichi.
that 9 so may come out as a safe tile against the Ricci, but we have another Ricci there on the left that is also a 4e10 3-sided weight. Not the person I thought was going to be 3-sided 4e10, but there is one.
it. And the first 9 finally comes out.
Speaking
there's
of
Tenpai.
Ricci, we could see another
3-so?
one here. If you want to push the 3 so, I would. Nope, just going to chicken out here.
Yeah, I mean, you see
There's
that
the 8 does not deal in. That is
Yep.
the 4e10.
on the left.
Oh,
But
just
there
so-
it is.
Will just be Richinomi because the south is the Yakuhai, but it is an Aura and 3 Ritu sticks, and that's a nice little win there. As Jocelyn is now very close, at least than a Mongon who's head to south too.
Yeah, this has been a very brisk game so far.
Well, you know those repeats. You have hands going quickly. That will happen. Dear Hair is stuck with a. I mean, this is one that could turn very good very quickly, but right now it's not very pretty. On the right, on the other hand, that is a nice hand. That is already Ishanten. Now you have 2 Dora. You have a lot of choices. I like cutting 9-pin here. I don't hate the 7-pin either. And yeah, there's the play. Also, let's shift to tie now, especially draw 4 mon, cut 9-9. You're feeling really good about that hand. Across the way, that looks like a Junchan, especially cutting the 4-6. Could have moved a different direction with this hand, but seems to be selling on a Junchan Chanta. And on the left, that is technically Ryan Shanten for Ricci or potentially Ricci Dora, but it feels slower than it should be. Oh, we have a Sanshoku brewing across the way now. Could turn us into Ricci Junchan Sanshoku.
On the
Yeet.
1, 2, 3. Oh, there's the Ipeco.
Oh, and a monster
And
hand there for
Sanshoku.
Kayla on the right. Yeah, guaranteed Sanshoku, possibly Ipeco. Ricci, Pinfu, Sanshoku, Dora to possibly Ipeco. This could be Baimon if 7-so is drawn.
Or on a sumo. And it does look like there's 1 4-so left in the wall and 2 7-so.
And there's not really a reason for him to throw the 4s. It fits in the hand quite nicely at this point. There's an argument to just Dama this, especially with the 4-7. But you know me, I'm not going to complain about someone throwing a stick in.
I'm always worried when someone calls Ricci and there's a very easy to use Dora like the 5 that I can't see any of yet. So I wonder what the players at this table are thinking about the potential
Sumo.
value of that.
There's
hand.
the
And
four. Draws the
four.
last one for all. Riichi, Sumo, Pinfu, Sanshoku, Dora 2. Mandiora, that is the Baimon. Kayla over 60,000 now.
Wow.
Move to South 3 and doesn't have a particularly bad hand for dealer. Just feel like a Tanya. Maybe even pull a Dora and do something with it, but I don't mind just trying to run the score up. When you're in this type of situation, you're not really worried about falling to third under any circumstances, and it's kind of hard to fall to second, although it's certainly possible. So this is one of those situations where you think, okay, what do I want to do? What is my game plan? And what you'd really like to do, of course, is not Jocelyn under 30K. That may be difficult. We'll see how this ends up.
And it is worth pointing out that despite all of the huge deal-ins we've seen so far, they haven't come from Jocelyn. She has done a good job of staying above water despite the fact that there have been so many huge hands already.
Now, Kayla makes an interesting discard with the two mon there. I think I cut the 9-7 because if I draw the 8, I don't even really want this hand. And the 2 does connect to the 4-4 with a 3. You already have a pair in the hand elsewhere. I definitely like cutting the 9 because, again, the 7-8-9 shape wouldn't really help this hand anyway.
Oh,
On
look
the
at
right,
that for Eric.
Nishanten would be Riichi, Dora, possible Tanya, but the shiny hand is the one across. That is a Chinitsu ready to go.
And just
that is
keeps
a
drawing
perfect
Monsu.
draw.
I mean, you
7
have
to fill in that. That is already. That is not quite Ishanten. That is Rian Shanten still.
well, it's Ishanten for Honitsu. Well, not anymore.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not. Well, let's hold on.
Well,
Yeah,
because it'd be a
Ishanten
pairway.
for Honitsu,
Yeah.
Yeah. Would an ugly one. On the left feels kind of like a cheat toy, but all the action here is for the hand across. And there's the 8, but again, I don't even want the 8.
With the 6 Mondora, this Chinitsu is especially scary for the other players at the table.
Yeah, the 1 mon doesn't actually help the shapes here. You just want something anywhere around the 5 or the 6, and you'll be Tempai. Interesting discarding the 6, so I wonder if the play here is we decide we're not throwing another mon tile, just force the Chitoitsu and say this hand isn't worth winning otherwise.
Not a single person's hand has developed for about 6 discards. That was the first one.
And I'd be drooling over the Chitoi Ishan Tanya here. That 6 does not help the hand there on the right for Jocelyn. The 4 would give you much wider acceptance, but you even really want it? No, because you're going to push a Monta into the Honitsu. There's your Tempai. 5-8 for Chinitsu. Possible. No Itsu here. We need a 4 there, and the 4 does not win yet.
There's nothing left in the wall. Someone is going to have to deal in for this to win, as the hand is right now.
Uh-oh. There it is! There are some Dora here. You just need the 1 to turn it into a Hanemon. Just like that, Jocelyn drops a bit. Doesn't see any overflow, but when you're 3rd row, you have to think that's Tempai. But just get a Kokushi.
Oh, wow. Hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and a pair. So not ideal, but what else are you going to go for?
You could go Honitsu. Oh, well, now you just go
Daisangen.
You feel very bad. No, I hate the cut here. No, I'm selling out towards a regular Honitsu hand, maybe Daisangen, cutting the 1 mon or 9 so. That's something you have to consider in that very first turn. You see all those pairs. Honitsu's actually not that bad with a hand like this. You'd love to go Kokushi because Yakuman. And now you're seeing this, and oh my goodness.
Oh, man. And you can't, and then you throw away the 2-pin, which is your only other shape.
Right. You have to abandon your thoughts here. Nope. Selling out on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point...
Okay, hold on. What about...
Suiso Chitoi?
Yeah, just Suiso. Could even be Suiso Chitoi, you're right. You could pull that, but I don't think that improves... Oh, yeah, it does. You cut the 6-6. And that is now Ishunten on the right. Will just be Sanchukunomi, but that would be enough to get second place, which is an amazing comeback considering where this hand was a little bit ago.
This is one issue with
Oh, and there
whenever
goes the pay cut. That's going to get
Home.
pwned. I made you cut one mon here. Shaw. Okay.
what a shot was already cut as well. One mon has more
Yeah,
acceptance if you're
one,
trying to win the
but
hand.
I kind of like sticking for the Honitsu here in So.
Yeah.
If we've given up the one in Pin.
One of
It's not like
these
the rest of this hand are bad either. The one across is starting to get there, especially get the 5 pin.
Well, that tends to be the case when one person has all the terminals and honors. That means everyone else isn't being forced to flush those out of their hand.
So what do you think of Ishunten for Daisangen?
I think that's pretty radical. If a South comes out, do you call it? Oh, well, you're dealer.
Yeah, you of course call it because you can always call it. And if there's the shot. No.
How many 7-so are there out and about in the world? I only see
There's
one.
one in a hand to the left. I think that's it.
Everybody's getting closer.
Meanwhile, Eric just stuck here in Ishunten. Hell,
Oh,
I
there
have
it
to say
is.
that in order to get Tempai. Now waiting on Tumon. And there's one of the
And that
left.
Tumon's gotta
right
come out
now.
of Kayla's hand.
Okay, does not come out just yet. I mean, even if you're Kayla, you're perfectly fine going into this. This is great for you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no Dora there.
Oh, and that 3 may stop it from happening, though. I think 3 pins to cut now. You're just going for a regular hand. Oh, you could be Yakuman. Double Yakuman Tempai, right? And that would have done it. Oh, and now so sad. And Muritan.
And there's a Tumatsu.
Oh, my God. What have I just witnessed? My heart breaking on stream.
Oh, the Yakuman West was in the pond. You could have gotten the double Yakuman, as you said, because we do allow stacked Yakuman. We don't allow multiple Yakuman, like, you know, in some other platforms.
Suanko Tonki is not double Yakuman, it is single. But you can have Suanko Daisangen, and that is 2 Yakuman, which will count. Here it's 96,000.
Yeah, here it would have been all honors in Daisangen. Suiso, right?
Yes, Suiso Daisangen, and would have ended up on the cheap end with only Suiso, but I don't think you worry about that too much.
Especially not as dealer.
Oh, that is absolute tragedy. But the big winner here is Kayla, who will look back at that log and should feel incredibly fortunate. Eric escapes with that second place at that big win in South 3, getting that Hanemon and the Chinitsu Dora, and you just feel bad for Jocelyn. There's no way around it. That very well could have been a Yakuman.
Yeah, that was...
Then Cesar just never got it going. Had that Daimin Khan with the Dora, but the hand just really didn't come together. Played a little too aggressively towards Toy Toy in almost every hand, I'd say. But just unfortunately couldn't get anything together.
And now, as the standings update, we'll see where that puts everybody. Kayla now sliding into that 5th slot where the current playoffs will be. The 4th and 5th will have a playoff with Pool B of Division B3 to decide who moves up to B2 and who will stay in B3.
Yes, as of right now, until we get to the final session, we will only show the first 3 spots as guaranteed because that is all the situation we know right now. As we find out who else illegally taking a hiatus or potentially even withdrawing, there will be more spots presumably opening up as we go along. But for now, it's just the first 3 guaranteed and 4 and 5 into the playoffs to see if they get to B2. I say we expect those to drop down maybe towards 6 or even 7. Remember, there are 2 B3 divisions as we are in a beta league now. But we are at the start of game 2, and Jocelyn is dealer here with a nice little hand, maybe Chitoi Honitsu.
Or, I mean, these pairs are so easy to call. Even with 4, I would consider opening.
Well,
already.
We're going to see it. I mean, if you do, you're going to deal the 4 either this turn or next turn, and that's going to be the end of this hand. Or is it? Ooh, interesting. They're cutting the West. I actually like that because it is an extra Yaku high. That's going to be extra value that turns this into
Boom.
Shaw. Oh, that Shaw is the. Well, never mind.
Yeah, that was
I
the
can say a
Yaku.
lot of words, but it's a DLN now.
Yeah, Kayla was Atazuke.
Right. Did not have the Yaku high, but there it gets it. Doesn't get greedy for it. Takes a 2,000. Is done with it.
And already, I mean, not only did the last game go blazingly fast, they waited 0 seconds before starting their second
Yeah,
game.
they
And
just jammed
already,
it in. Well, they're probably playing all three, so they didn't want to dawdle around. I certainly understand that. You oftentimes see delays, especially at like A1 or A2 games, where it's like, oh God, what did the log tell me? What did the log tell me? Am I reading things right? But here, they just want to get all these games over. It's certainly understandable here. And Cesar has a nice little shape in pin, but not too much else. On the right, look at Pinfu hand, already Ishan 10. Wouldn't be Pinfu, though, so may need to shift, maybe even towards Itsu. Across the way, few pairs there as well. Feels like a standard hand. I'd even just cut Dora here, even though it's your Yaku High, just because I kind of like the rest of these shapes. And there it goes. And on the left, you're looking for you to turn that into Junchan Sanchuku.
if Tuso or Forso comes out of anyone's hand, do you call it as Eric?
No, I don't like the Atazuke 6-9.
Each.
Yeah, no 9s have been cut yet either. Oh, there's a Ricci from Kayla waiting on 8-pin. That is Ricci Nomi.
So this is one where the Ricci isn't necessarily a bad play. I think I even like Dama here, and then with that 2 cutting the 9-pin. Because I want to get some sort of value out of a hand like this. It just feels like you're cheapening a bit much for me. And
that
even if I
nobody-
draw the 8, I don't feel bad about the 3-sided 4E10 to possibly add Tanyo and Pinfu. Oh,
And that would have been the upgrade. Yeah, that 4, 5, 6, 7 shape is just so good and accepts so many improvements.
now interesting. I think I might have even called the 3-pin here for Cesar with a 2-4 and tried to maneuver this towards
Gee.
Tanyo. Just because you don't have any information about this hand, I'm inclined to try and push.
Eric thinking a lot about what to discard here.
Yeah, it almost has
Does-
to be the 1-mon. You just don't have any information yet. Your only other option is cutting the 8-mon, and that completely shuts this hand down. Okay, we'll do so anyway. I think that 8-mon there, though, is a mistake. Should definitely be throwing the 2-pin.
Yeah, now that the 2-pin is Genbutsu. We do have Tenpai on the left, waiting on 4-mon, although there's no Yaku there. Is
now
moving
there
towards
is.
Junchan.
Now it is Junchan waiting on Furi-10, 1-4. There is 1-1 left in the wall, has to draw it.
Does abandon Tenpai the next
Boom.
turn.
Says, you know what, the 5 is a bit.
And then
Let's
immediately
not do
takes
that.
the
And throws the
9-mon
5
back.
anyway.
Sumo.
There's
Oh,
the
just
8-pin.
Sumo. Ricci, Sumo, Tour.
Aura.
Okay, well, wouldn't have mattered if you do it that way. Just hit the Sumo and Aura. That fixes problems very quickly. And Kayla is in first place, commanding first place lead again as we're in East 3 now.
The Tuso is the Dora. And oh my
Great
god,
starting hand here.
Jocelyn.
I like this hand.
Tune discard. Jocelyn draws into a pair of Tune. Like, how tragic.
I almost want to keep it around and just keep it as my pair for Honitsu because I don't like the rest of these shapes. And if I draw Tuso, I'm thinking Itsu as well. On the right, that definitely a Pinfu shape. You're trying to turn into something more. I do not like the 7-pin discard. I definitely get rid of the 8-mon instead because the 7-pin can connect to an 8-pin, a 9-pin 4, and Peiko. In the meantime, we'll just go for probably Ricci Nomi here. Across the way, as mentioned, we had that awful Chun pair. The best value is going to be the Itsu, but I think you take anything you can get. And on the left, similarly, you feel like the value is the Itsu, but you do have a door. You could always pair that up, and then you have a whole bunch of choices.
How are you thinking about your shapes if you're Kayla here? These are the sorts of hands where you've got a complex shape in every
Oh, I
single
love it.
suit that
I love it.
They're great, but how do you think about it?
I think I'm probably calling this down for 1,000 points, even if I don't want to. But if we get the good draws, say 6-pin, then we're just going for value. And yeah, I was wondering about that 6-pin. There are so many tiles that could backfire on that. I want to cut either the 2-pin or especially the 8-6-so feel really weak here, especially with the 2-so being Dora. We'd really like to be able to add something to that side.
A similar shape with the 3 4s and the 3 is across the way in Jocelyn's hand as well. Does
Wow,
get rid of
that's
the 3-mon.
yeah, Jocelyn. I like this play. You're going for Sananko. Richie Sumo Sananko is your best path to value, at least as far as I see it. Of course, you just draw a Dora because you take a Shumpon you're not particularly thrilled with. Well, now we see how much greed is there. Do you believe in the Sananko? He
Yep.
believes in the Suanko. I think if you're doing that, though, you should be keeping that 8 so earlier. So here's an
See.
interesting thought. What if you cut 4 so instead?
Yeah,
Instead
get
of
rid
that
of the
9.
dangerous tile.
And well, no, and if you do draw the Dora, you can still use it for Ipeco Dora too.
リーチ
Oh, make a Kanchan out of it.
In the meantime, we have dealer Tempai waiting on 7 so for Richie Tanyao.
All the 7-sos are
there's
in
that
hand.
2 so. We were all worried about the whole hand. Just couldn't get it 1 turn earlier. Because that'd be a monster wait.
Oh, and there's a third Dora, though, for Cesar.
Well, if you're Cesar, you're just going now. Forget the rest of this hand. In fact, I think the 1 pin is a huge mistake. That should have been an 8-pin Ricci. You just slam it with a hand like that.
Was it?
Oh, wait, no, it wasn't Tempai.
It wasn't
My
Tenpai.
mistake. I misread that. I thought it was a 4, 5, 6 already.
リーチ
Oh, well, there you go. Now you have the Peiko, but that's you only have 1 5 left and it's in a hand. I just take the 7 weight here. Just because
Oh, man.
Ricci, Apatsu, Sumo, Dora 3. Oh, that's so sad. There is more value in this hand, but you know there's only 1 left. The 7 wasn't looking great, but there was only 1 discarded. So there were, at least in theory, 3 in the wall or other hands.
And it does look like we're just going to end up at exhaustive here with Cesar and Kayla Tempai.
Yeah, Kayla definitely bailed out there a bit. Would have been paying out a lot for that, too, with the Oikabari. Has a decent hand here, but not much value. You're looking to turn this into 1, 2, 3 Sanchiku, maybe a 3, 4, 5. But you're taking you get on the right with the south pair. That is the Yakuai with 2,300 in the middle. You just want to call anything you can. Across the way, that's Honetsu. I don't think you have to think about that hand. If pay comes, I'm taking it.
Yeah, I hate Honitsu like quite a bit. And even I would have pushed Honitsu here.
And on the left, we have a Tanya type shape. Gonna hard to get too much value from this. I think you just call anything you can get.
The 4 does not call the 4-pin. That would be one call that would do more harm than good, I think.
チ
There's a Chi across the way. But here, I think even if you call the pay, it's not like anyone doesn't already know what you're doing.
Yeah, when your first 2 discards are very useful
チ
tiles
I like
from a
the
suit.
Chi over the Pawn here, because again, you can still get that last pay.
This also keeps alive the possibility of Itsu.
Distant, but certainly possible if you get the 2, 3. I guess not that far off. Dealer is Ishanten now.
You really want to get to Tempai drawing the 7-mon.
Oh,
And-
yeah, this is kind of
and-
a disgusting hand if you have to take the Penchon.
Oh, well, you can shift it now, though.
Yeah, it doesn't help much. I
It
mean, it's
might
a
help one
Dora,
day.
so it's obviously Dora, so you want to use it.
The South's called by Eric, but
When I see a
still
Dora across the
Ishanten.
way for Jocelyn, just throws it right back. Upgrades the Shunton there for Eric. Cannot pull in this 2-pin. Well, that 6 is going to look a little scary, but I think you still push it.
チ
Gonna hedge it for now. Now there's Tempai on the right. That will be South Dora 1 on the 6-mon Dora.
Oh, I didn't even notice that the third pay came into hand.
Oh, well,
Ooh,
now you
there's
have
another
2 Dora
6.
for dealer. You just need to cut the 9 here.
Yeah.
You feel really bad about having cut that 3 earlier. Was a little scared of the 6, so, but I feel you'd be in way better shape right now. Well, you just cut the 2 here. Take your 6-9 upgrade. The South is not a great win, but it's good enough with 2,300 in the middle. You take anything you can get. Three still looks really bad, but you don't have a choice.
The Naimon actually surprisingly live right now. There's still 3 left in the wall.
Yeah, just given how the rest of the tables, I'm not that surprised. You'd expect there to be 1 on the left, but the rest of the people are just not showing.
There it is.
There it is.
4
Like, I don't want 1,000, but I'll take 3,300, thanks.
And that just barely leaves Eric underneath 30K, but we're only in East 4, so there's plenty of time to get above that 30K threshold.
Yeah, you're at East 4. You're not really thinking about it. Now, this dealer hand is amazing. Ricci, Pinfu, Tanyao, Sanchoku, Dora, maybe even Dora 2 here. I love this hand. On the right, that is a Gokushi. You can hedge towards maybe a Honitsu, but I'm planning on... Oh, no, that's the only thing that would make you feel regret is if you draw specifically the 3-mon. Now, you'd have the 2, 3, 4, but the problem is you're still not going to have an easy Yaku. So I think the play here is going to be just hedging towards the Chanta.
7 pin came into Eric's hand. All you need is the 7-mon to confirm the Sanshoku here.
You could call this with 2 Dora. Getting greedy. I don't hate this. I wonder if I would have called it, though. I might have called that one.
Oh, I 100%
Well, that's the
would have
difference
called it.
between taking 5,800 and saying, I can get 5 on off of this. In the meantime, we have an Ishanten on the left. Oh, no, I definitely keeping that 7 in this hand. But I can see the fear here. Oh, well, now you have a choice. No, I strongly disagree with that 4 cut. You should definitely be cutting the Haku here because you haven't even established which of your Sanchoku you're going for yet. Because now if you draw the 4, you're very sad, the 4-mon.
Yeah, having 2 options is often a very good way to go, especially when you don't anticipate that you're ever going to fold, which this hand
you're not folding this, especially if you're not calling the first 4-mon. You said I'm going for it. Forget what the rest of the table's doing.
That Chun hanging
out there's a Dora.
hand
You
on
could
the
just
right.
pawn it even.
Did not take it though. And
there's our
Tenpai.
Tenpai. Pinfu Tanyao Dora 2 doesn't have to reach you. This will Dama with a 4-7 looking as bad as it does.
Tanyao Pinfu Dora 2. So it will be a
Mongon Roan, but instead does the 4-10 Ricci 1 turn later thing. And there goes the 8. Now you can pawn that into Otozuki Tenpai here. Instead, we'll pass it. And there goes the 2-pin. And actually, Ishanten now for Chun Honitsu.
Let's see. For the 7, all of the 4-mon are visible right now. There are 2 7-mon still left in the wall. And there's Tenpai
on the left
for
of that monster.
Oh, and there's a
Daimon
Con on the 1 pin? What does that get you?
I don't think that gets you anything. Unless you're shifting to Toy Toy. It's just going to happen. Oh, and there goes an upgrade on the left. But is it really an upgrade? Not really. You do the Genbutsu 9, so now I guess. No, there's a Yaku now across the way. Well, not a Yaku, but Tenpai. Could be Yaku if you prep the 4-mon.
The issue with pairing up the 3-mon, even though it would also be a Yaku.
Con.
Oh boy.
Con.
It does!
And Con's into 2 more Dora.
Oh,
so we have a... Oh, and there's the 5 that does not deal in.
Oh, right.
Does not deal in. Oh, that 6 feels so bad. You have to push it. 4-pin safe. And 3 players Tenpai, so that hand was very scary, but Cesar does get into Tenpai here. I'll get 1,000 out of it.
The 4 pairs to start in this hand.
And Cesar goes ahead and pawns that. This time it is the Yaku High, so that's going to be a relatively fast hand now. Already Ishanten for just the East here. Dealer has a bunch of pairs, 4 of them, but feels kind of slow. On the right, we have the Chun pair. Definitely getting there towards a real hand. And on the left, I mean, it's a Pinfu hand with 2 Dora. You feel good about it, but if you saw where everyone... Oh,
Oh, wow.
just draw the 3-pin. Now you're in perfect D-shunted and in business.
Yeah, that is such a good discard. Such a good draw.
And the 4 doesn't actually help you. I think it's important to throw it back rather than get tempted by it.
This 7-mon, does this help Eric?
Not directly. It does give some Jun-Chun shifts, but that's about it. Oh, well, now we have a nice... Okay, that's going to be an Ishan 10. Definitely looking for that 6-9.
Yeah, it's so Korak. If you're Kayla on the left here and you draw say 3-so 6-so, do you take the Champon Ricci or the good waiting on 3-mon 6-mon?
It is Dora, but this table has definitely been willing to push into it. I think I'd still take the wider weight though. I don't think this table is necessarily playing with Suji in mind a lot of the time.
Eric is actually approaching Rion Peiko here. If you can draw the 9-mon before you draw a 6-pin or 9-pin, or a 6-mon, either way.
Senpai across the way, waiting on 3 6-pin. Would get the 1,000 to the 1,300 in the middle, and that'd be enough to be tied for second place.
There's a 6-pin.
Well,
that's
you smash this one. You just reach it. There's no reason to mess around with this one. Getting so greedy for the Rion Peiko here. I'm just smashing the button here.
As it is, it's only Pinfu. Possibly Peiko.
Possibly Peiko on the 6.
Yeet.
Well,
Oh,
there's
there's
Senpai on the left. That's going to be an easy Ricci.
3-so 6-so, which most of them we can see right now. There's 1 6-so. Oh, but the sumo on the 9-pin
Ricci!
would have been a pot sumo.
Sumo! Because that's the problem is here you sumo, you're very sad. I got 20 fu, 2 on from it. I guess I stopped a Ricci, but that's one where you could add so much more value. You should be in first place at this point. But regardless, Eric does have another dealer turn here off that win. Has a Dora, decent shapes, not good ones though. On the right to the East call, and that is actually already Ishan 10 across the way. Very nice hand developing for Cesar. Potential Ricci, Pinfu, Tanyao, Peiko. And on the left, we see the Chun pair, and their ships aren't great, but they're workable.
Forso, a nice little upgrade there for Jocelyn, giving just a couple more options. Cesar across the way, discarding the 5-pin, wanting to cement that Ipeco into the hand.
I mean, Cesar's just looking for a pair here. This could be a monster.
Boom.
There's the Chunpon. Kayla also looking for a pair.
Yeah, I mean, you cut the 2-so here. You're going to be very sad if you end up on the 6-9 Nobeton. Because even the 5-8 Nobeton's basically dead here. I don't even think you can take it. Very wide Ishan 10 now on the left.
7-mon and 7-mon weight on the right for Jocelyn.
Reach.
Well, that is Senpai, but this is going to be a Tonki weight. This is one where you hit the button and then go, oh, wait, I can't back out in Tenho, can I? Once you say the word Ricci and throw the Ricci stick in, you're stuck with it. Now, interesting, you could have cheated the 5 there on the right and cut the 8 to have a better shape. Well, Tenpai on the left on the 6-9 for just Chun. Now we see Tenpai broken on the right.
Oop, there's a 9-mon. Doesn't fit into the hand at all.
And it's going to steal in. Just 1,000. Eric's actually not that sad with that result. It's annoying to deal into first place, but does shut down the potentially expensive Ricci. And we just have 1.
Now, that was our first hand with multiple repeats, I believe, so far in this series.
Well, Dio here has a very nice starting hand. Ricci, Pinfu, possible Tanyo, Dora. On the right, do you go Honitsu? You're thinking about it, but probably not. It's very much a wait and see. Across the way, that's a Pinfu hand for sure, and a Dora. A great pickup there. Actually, Ishan 10 already. And on the left, you'd love to turn it into an Itsu, but it feels a long way off. Interesting cutting the 5-pin here, getting rid of the 5-3 block. Keeps open the 1-2-3 Sanjuku down the line. Oh, just hit Tempai across the way, waiting on the 4-mon.
Did not
It
end
is
up
Ricci
getting the
Dora.
Pinfu.
So what do you think instead of cutting 3-mon?
Instead of cutting 3-mon.
Instead of taking the Ricci, cutting 3-mon across the way there for Kayla.
Oh, yeah, that is absolutely what I would have done. I really like having the 2 Nobetan shapes. Like, there's so many different ways to get Pinfu. 8, I think, off the top of my head.
1
Okay, there is a call of the 2-mon. That 4 may end up dealing in. Oh, and there's your 4. Now you have 3-sided weight. On the left, though, this is Tempai, Ricci, Pinfu, Dora, possibly Itsu.
Oh, but the 4-mon's going to deal it? No!
No, the 6 has to come out first. And the problem here is Manda decided to cut Hatsu and dodge this all together.
Oh, but your
does not have a
Tempai.
Yaku. You have to get rid of those Hatsu and try and make Tanya out of this.
Yep.
That's going to be the play. Big dodge here for Jacqueline.
That's math. And now you don't have to throw away the 4-mon at all.
Well, you
No, it's
might.
not Tempai.
Yeah, it's Ishan 10 still.
I mean, now I imagine you're...
Khan!
Oh, another Daimon Khan on
Into
a
4
terminal.
Dora, but no Yaku. Doesn't actually help this hand at all. Oh, and there's
There's
the
a
4-mon!
4-mon!
And with this Khan, we'll see if it really ends up punishing.
It does.
It does. It adds 1 more, and that's going to push Kayla over 50,000. 1 extra Oradora there. Turns that from a 5,200 to an 8,000. That's a huge win for Kayla now, over 50,000. And we are in South 2. Cesar is dealer.
And Cesar's Daimon Khan gets him second in a roundabout way.
And I have a whole bunch of pairs here for Cesar. I think it's just a Chitoitsu hand. Hard to really make anything else out of this. On the right, we see similarly a whole bunch of pairs. Also feels like a Chitoitsu hand. Across the way, that's a nice little Pinfu Tanya Dora hand. And on the left, that's also a very nice Pinfu Tanya, possibly Dora or Dora 2.
To hesitate a little bit about hands that look like Chitoi, I feel like Cesar's looks maybe less so now, but before that 4-mon draw, Cesar's hand looked a lot more like Chitoi than Kayla's did on the right, because Kayla still has options. Like if you draw a 4-pin or 7-pin with that 5-5-6-6 shape in hand, and since you had 1-1-2-mon, there's a lot more ways for those to become sequences and for that to become a normal hand. Whereas Cesar's shapes were very distant from each other. All of the pairs were very spread out.
Well, and Cesar kept the lone 1-so over the floating 3-pin, and if the 3-pin had been kept, it would have connected that 2, and then you can maneuver it to a much more regular hand. That's something you should always be paying attention to for a Chitoi, is how do I get it to a way to where it's not stuck as a Chitoi. Now you have a Ricci Tanya Dora on the left, waiting on 4-so Dora indicator. There is only 1 left in the wall. Did not want to take the 2-sided weight for the much cheaper value, but the much wider 1-so acceptance. I cheat this. I want to fight. If I'm Cesar, I want to fight, even 4th place.
Yeah, especially since you want to be getting out of the demotion zone. And right now, even the playoff spots, there's a big jump from the top demotion spot at 14th with Blake and the bottom playoff spot for Rob.
Oh, we have Tempai.
And gets the
Ricci,
Ipeco.
Tanya, Ipeco, Dora 2, a monster hand here becomes. 1-2-mon left, and of course the aforementioned 1-4-so left.
Eric draws the 7-pin, but keeps it.
And that means the 7-pin is dead. They are both drawing to 1. Oh, no, wait, never mind. We're waiting on the 2-mon. 1-2-mon versus 1-4-so.
I could see the 2-mon coming out of Kayla's hand if she ends up getting into some sort of Suanko nonsense.
Ishan 10 across the way for potentially big hand there. Riti Pinfu, Tanya, Sanshoku. You would have to cut the Dora into this. And I will not do so.
Oh, there's the
Well, there's the
4.
4, so.
Uh-oh. Oh,
And
it
there
does.
it goes. It's going to deal in. Ricci, Tanya, Dora. No Aura, but a nice little win there. It's going to get Juklin out of last place and all the way into second. I don't think Kayla really needed to push that one. Definitely got punished for it. Anytime pushing Dora indicator, you're certainly not trusting Suji. And even then, I don't think that was Suji.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, so Kayla will still remain in first place, even in that deal and at a big lead. And can, with that Haku pair, interesting cutting the 3-pin. I definitely want to cut 1 so instead. I'm not buying Itsu with this. I'm not buying Honitsu with this. And 3 is just a better floater than a 1.
Across the way, we already have 2 calls, and that could still turn into a Honitsu on its own.
Could
Actually,
be
you have
Honitsu,
to, since
could
you
be
called the
Toy
East.
Toy.
Either
Depending
way.
on what comes.
That's true.
On the right, a few pairs. Hands honestly kind of crap. Across the way, already talked about that. And on the left, we have a couple Wests, but I mean, that hand's a long way off from everything. Well, that definitely looks like the plan to move to Toy Toy across there for Juklin. Of course, if you pair up the South, and you don't even have to think about it.
Then it becomes Toy Toy Honitsu.
Toy Toy Honitsu, South, Dora 3 potentially. So you got to hold on to that as long as possible.
Yeah. Eric gripping that Haku. Could get a 4-5-6 Sanshoku still.
Well, the problem for Kayla is what's the plan here? If you still had the other pay, then maybe you could just accept the Honitsu here. But as it is, you're kind of stuck. You're Atazuke for 1 Han with really no way to defend. And now those Kyles are terrifying for Juklin.
Oh,
well,
that
you're
8
temp by
mon.
now. The pay is certainly safe.
But is Eric going to discard the Haku?
If you hit temp by, I presume you can push it, but I wouldn't be scared of dealer here. I'd be a little concerned, but I think dealer would be Ishunten here. I'd be terrified of what Juklin's doing, though.
Well, yeah, I mean the Haku is scary to Juklin. Like that is the big issue. Oh, and there's a 6 mon.
Going to hedge it for now, but if you draw 5 or 7 mon, I think it just comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that fixes the issue. Now you just reach on the 4. Guaranteed Sanshoku, and if there's a fold by the dealer, the Haku's going to come out.
The 9-so is safe, though. Yeah, that is such a great trap. Not that you really know you're putting the dealer into a trap, but it's effectively what happened here.
Well, we're going to see it, because here's the 2-so. That's not a safe tile, and you can see the hesitation here. We'll just push it, though.
It'd honestly be much better to discard the 8 mon at this point.
Oh, and there's that
deal
Dora
into the Toy
that
Toy.
Juklin was hoping for a long time ago. 3-so's not much safer. I think Kayla has basically been locked in a position it has to be thrown at this point. The 7 is Suji. It doesn't actually look that bad to anyone. I'd feel fine pushing it.
Oh, God.
God!
Does
Into Dora 3! Toy Toy Dora 3! And all of a sudden, you're very scared of this hand now.
Oh, and
there goes the 4. That is
but it
not
doesn't
a
deal
Yaku.
in.
Does not deal in.
Oh, man.
Chun is safe.
Oh, no! I think that was a misclick.
The dealer turn on, and oh no, what a disaster. The Chun was completely safe here. That's just a mistake.
Yeah, I think that was a misclick. I don't see Kayla giving up that hand.
A misclick. Really unfortunate there. And still in first place, but this game's all of a sudden super close.
Right, especially since Eric is the dealer.
Given life now over 30,000, has a Dora and a callable Haku, so can definitely make way back into this. On the right, shapes are they're not kind of bad. They're terrible. Across the way, looking for that 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku, but there's the West. You're going to try and call this, get to third place, and be done with the game. And on the left, A few pairs,
Home.
but similarly, everything's just kind of bad.
Was there any path for Cesar to make a hand that would
Home.
get over 30K?
Not
Home.
really. Like, especially with how it's been going so far, you really have to accept Dora. It'd be Ricci, Sumo, Shaw, and then maybe Inura or something, or extra Fu. So I don't hate this play at all. Just accept your third, be done with it. Now, what I do
1
complain about is this could be Tempai if you had the 8-mon weight right now. And I
Home.
don't understand that call on the right at all. The 1-so does not help that hand whatsoever. Maybe dreaming of Sanchiku Doko, but I'm not seeing it. And there
One.
goes the deal in. And that's a direct hit. Not that it was needed, but there will be the 1,000. Get Cesar out of last place. Jocelyn will take up the rear, but the winner here is going to be Kayla. Could have won a lot more, but ended up dealing in that Haku. We think it was a misclick. That's really unfortunate. We'll still get 23
Yeah,
and get into the promotion zone.
in second.
Yeah, Eric in second gets over 30K as a result of that win, and will definitely take 6.6 considering where that game was going. Cesar does get out of last place with only a minus 9.3, and Jocelyn takes fourth there off that last deal in with minus 20.4.
Let's see as we get these stats updated
Okay.
there. And it does seem like that was the final game of this series. They will play their last two at some other date.
So I think we are going to hang it up here then. I don't think there are any other games going on. We'll take a look.
There are none currently, and none had been scheduled last that I saw. At the end of that, Eric still hanging on to the positives here. It's very, very slowly trying to work his way up. You're in this weird middle zone, like right near ±0, where you don't want to fall into demotion, but you also really want to be able to push and get up into those slots moving up to B2.
Yeah, I'd like to apologize. Sounds like the name is actually pronounced Jocelyn. So we've been butchering that a bit. Our apologies. We just take a guess until we're told otherwise a lot of the time. But as you see from the standings here, Galhan in very good shape. Kayla now moves into great position. And Emily sitting there with that 32.5% win rate.
Yeah, that's
In
absolutely
just
bonkers.
excellent position. I see so many of these people with 700, 800, 900 EVs. So that's going to be what you need. And as I said earlier in the broadcast, and we over and over, the 3 guaranteed are not likely to be the only 3 guaranteed, as hiatuses and such trickle down through the divisions as we find out towards the end of the season. We imagine that cut line will drop significantly. But for now, any closing thoughts other than the poor Suiso? Oh, I'm going to have nightmares on that one.
I think I'm gonna have nightmares about several of the hands we saw tonight. I mean, how many times did we see conned Dora?
Oh, yeah, and showed very expensive hands. And then the players are like, I don't really care. I'm just going to reach into this and get my extra Oradora chance, and paid off a lot of the time. So very aggressive play, maybe borderline reckless a lot of the time, but certainly some exciting games to watch. And I think that is about it. This is when we do our obligatory plug for the website, Twitter, here on Twitch. YouTube has a repository of everything. And with that, I am Korak along with Ennui. Have a good evening, afternoon, morning, or whatever, depending on where you are.